Hard to believe it's just about a month ago. We're back in Albany for his second professional fight, this time against Trent Singleton. He disposed of Hector Mercedes inside a single round. And the question that most of the ringsiders are asking is, can he do the same thing again? Mike Tyson created the headlines here in the USA last year. Many felt that he should have been the US representative at the Los Angeles Olympics. Twice, not once, twice, he got beaten in qualifiers by Henry Tillman. It was Tillman who went to Los Angeles. I watched him win that heavyweight gold medal. What people are really already starting to forget is that there was no great medal to win. The Cubans weren't there, the Russians weren't there. If Tyson had been there, trust me, he'd have won a gold as well. It's Tyson in white, Trent Singleton in the blue with a gold trim. We're in round one. Well, we didn't get much of a chance to see Tyson, what he had to offer in his first fight, and already in what, seconds, Singleton touches down. He gets a mandatory 8 under New York State Athletic Commission rules, and already, from what little we've seen of Mike Tyson in his pro career, down goes Singleton again, left hook this time. This boy is tough. Doesn't throw many jabs, comes in, works close, hooks to head and body, and he's just a perpetual motion machine so far. This isn't going to go too long. Trent Singleton in all sorts of trouble. We're already in round one. The referee humanely has seen enough. Tyson shrugs almost as if disappointed that the fight is over so quickly, walks back to his corner. There's Kevin Rooney, the corner man. Tyson, so much pent-up energy, still unspent. We're in Singleton's corner. No acting, he's hurt. Tyson, the gloves come off. So, Mike Tyson, the young fledgling professional, 2 fights, 2 wins, the debut on the 6th of March. We're still only the 10th of April. And you just wonder how much of a tight schedule Customado and Jimmy Jacobs, his 2 managers, are going to throw at him. Tyson doesn't hang around for the formalities. He's had his arm raised. He's already leaving the ring. The well-wishers, and I suspect the well-wishers, the band of Tyson fans will grow as his career progresses, shaking his hand, wishing him well, saying well done, and it was well done. 2 fights, 2 wins for Tyson. Yep, 2 fights, 2 wins for Mike Tyson. We're back in Albany. We're back for opponent number 3. 23rd of May, 1985. Hard to believe Tyson's debut was just the 6th of March. He hasn't really crammed in hardly 6 minutes of fight action into his pro career so far. I wonder whether Don Halpin is going to extend Mike Tyson where Hector Mercedes and Trent Singleton have failed to do so. This is one formidable young man, Mike Tyson. Many felt that it should have been him and not Henry Tillman to go to the Los Angeles Olympics last year. But it was Tillman, won fair and square, beat Tyson not once but twice. He won the gold medal. Interesting to note that Tillman won the heavyweight gold, whereas Mike Tyson, of course, might have had some ambitions had he been a bit of a bigger guy, because he's not a big heavyweight. The super heavyweight gold at LA last year went to Tyrell Biggs. Tyson, let's get this in perspective. Forget what the press releases say. He's only 5'10". Some would have you believe he's 6 foot. He's not. He's 5'10". He is not a big heavyweight. He's only a kid. Yes, he is going to fill out. But it'll be interesting to see how he fills out. Already, if you look at him close up, there are great slabs of muscle on him. So, well, we will have to see whether he fulfills the promise that he has shown in his only 2 professional fights. In the blue tracksuit top there, incidentally, with USA on the back, that's his trainer, Kevin Rooney, who was a pretty decent welterweight in his day. Referee just giving them a little briefing. Don Halpin trying to give Tyson the eye, and I am glad. I tell you, I am glad I am this side of the ropes and not that side of the ropes, because Tyson looks mean, he looks menacing in the white trunks with a little green trim. Don Halpin who has got a record of 9 wins and 18 losses in a 27-fight career. Significantly, not one of those 9 wins has been inside the distance, so he is not going to hurt Tyson. Can he survive? Tyson. We know from what we've seen so far, he is not a fighter who throws a lot of jabs. He likes to work in close, just puts out a little left feeler and then comes in swinging behind that. Halpin nicely tucked up, good technique. But these body shots, they hurt. Trust me, they hurt. It's very rare that you will see a fighter stop with a single body shot. What they do is they sap your strength. They will wear you down in later rounds. That was a little bit near the borderline. Tyson gets away with it. You will note he's an orthodox fighter, Tyson. Left hand, left foot forward, as indeed is Halpin. It's probably asking a bit much in a young fighter's fledgling professional career to put him with a southpaw just yet. That'll come, that'll come. Already we're seeing a different side of Mike Tyson tonight. It's almost as if his corner have said to him, listen, you don't have to win every fight inside one round. Feel this guy out. This guy, professional fighter, Don Halpin, experienced 27 fights. Tyson has had just the 2. So feel this man out. Give him a little bit of respect. Probe for his weaknesses. Find out what his weaknesses are. When you found out what those weaknesses are, then you can exploit them. Tyson, notably slower. Just hark your mind back to those fights we saw just a few moments ago against Mercedes and Singleton. Tyson exploded out of his corner for those 2 fights. This, a much more calm, a much more measured approach from this young man. Originally from New York City, now fighting out of the Catskills, where his mentor and father figure, Cus D'Amato, has been raising him in the fistic arts. It looks as though, you know, that Halpin's going to get through a round. I hope I'm not going to eat my words. Tyson down on his heels, and we saw him up on his toes in the opening round, first couple of fights. It's almost as if, as I said a moment or so ago, that his corner have told him, just extend this a little bit. Don't be in a rush to finish. And this is a good opening round. Good opening round for both boys. Halpin, to his credit, he's come to fight. He's testing Tyson out, got through with 1 or 2 good jabs. I still think Tyson is winning the round on the sheer volume of punches throwing. But Halpin, he's no mug. Good first round. Can extend Mike Tyson. Great things expected of Tyson. Cus D'Amato, who, if you're a fight fan, will know was the guiding light behind the career of former world heavyweight champion Floyd Patterson. You will know that when D'Amato says this man can be a world beater, you've got to listen to it, you've got to respect it. But it's D'Amato will have seen things sparring that we haven't seen in Tyson's professional career, because we haven't had a chance to see yet exactly what he's capable of doing. We can see he's a superbly conditioned athlete. Well, that's down to Kevin Rooney and the gym work. We know that he's a good short puncher. We haven't really seen him throw a jab worthy of the name yet. But then again, the perfect heavyweight has yet to be born. I remember once the great Eddie Futch, trainer of Joe Frazier, sitting me down and telling me what Muhammad Ali's weaknesses were. And I was a fellow who thought Muhammad Ali didn't have any weaknesses until Eddie Futch told me. And when Eddie Futch had explained it to me, and you watched Ali next time, you realised the truth of what he was saying. So the perfect heavyweight has not been born, but maybe Mike Tyson might be, because that was a jolting little left hook that shook Halpin right down to his heels. He backs up, tries to hold. Tyson clubs him off again with the left. Now this is going to be a real test for Don Halpin. He definitely was hurt there, looks apprehensively at Tyson over his shoulder, plods gamely forward. Tyson just jinking side to side. Good upper body work from Tyson, looking for the opening, fires out a jab, misses. But again, these little hooks of his rarely do. Going back to what I was saying about Ali, never missed with a jab, but was not that good, strangely enough, fighting inside. Now, Tyson is almost the mirror image of that. Haven't seen him jab effectively yet, but boy, when he gets within close range, you better watch out, because he is a bit good. And he's starting to get through to Halpin now, and he's starting to hurt him. Leading with a right, just switching to southpaw there for a minute. Leading with a right hand, right foot forward. Good right hand again from Tyson. Hasn't quite got his range yet as the youngster. Far cry from those early days in Brooklyn. When he was a kid, by his own admission, he was a bundle of trouble waiting to happen. And who knows what would have happened if Customado hadn't picked him up and taken him under his wing. Let's not dwell on that. Let's dwell on the positive. Let's dwell on the fact that we just might be seeing a man who could go on to great things in this heavyweight division. End of the second, Tyson glares at Halpin. Halpin, he's having none of it, ignores him, walks back to his corner. Tyson almost affronted that Halpin has managed to go 2 rounds. Round 3 now of the scheduled 6-rounder in Albany in upstate New York. Mike Tyson in the white, Don Halpin in the blue with the white trim. 2 completed rounds. Tyson has taken them both quite easily. But Halpin has posed him the sort of thought-provoking opposition that Hector Mercedes and Trent Singleton, the opening 2 opponents who folded inside around, the pair of them haven't managed to do. And maybe Kevin Rooney in the Tyson corner has said, well, okay, you've worked this man out, open up a little bit now. Halpin, a little rueful grin, snakes out a right. You saw Tyson's head go back there. Score 1, Halpin. Once again, Tyson switched to southpaw. Back to orthodox now. Now that's a sign of supreme confidence, isn't it? A young man in only his 3rd pro fight, effortlessly switching between orthodox and southpaw. Again, fighting out of the southpaw stance. I think this is really just to see if he can, against an opponent who, as I've already said, is not going to hurt him. Halpin has never stopped anybody. I'm not even sure whether he's ever decked anybody. So he's not going to hurt Tyson. So Tyson can use this experience to just try out a couple of new moves, because there's a big difference between the gym and the ring, as any pro will tell you. And he hurt Halpin there. He backs him up against the ropes. The more experienced man holds on, the ref having none of it, pulls him apart. And every now and then, when Tyson gets through with a shot, he really shakes Don Halpin. And you can sense that Tyson maybe now is looking for the one big shot. Tyson himself just holds on. He's backed up himself on the ropes, turns him well. Halpin, wily old pro, the chin tucked down, but he gets clipped with a right hand then. He will not be able, I tell you, to take too many of those. Tyson now starting to double up, hooking off that jab, again fighting out of the southpaw stance, which he's favouring increasingly more in this fight. Maybe he's realised that Halpin doesn't like it when he comes at him southpaw fashion. Crowd, unlike the first couple of fights, pretty quiet, reacting to the good punch, but absorbed like I am, really, because, to be quite honest, having seen 2 one-round wins, I'd expected this to follow suit. I'd expected Don Halpin to be another sacrificial victim. Not to be. 3 rounds he's gone. Well, I don't think there can be too many doubts that Tyson has won all 3 rounds. And I would think that Kevin Rooney there in the blue tracksuit top is pretty satisfied with what he's seen. Tyson, in case it needs any saying, has never been remotely troubled at number 4. Has got a slight problem. Great cheer, biggest cheers of the night, as the ring card girl straightens it out. And fight fans are the same the world over. Show them pretty girl. Pretty girl gets the cheers. And the fighters, for the moment, are forgotten. Well, in the Halpin corner, they might, you never know, be harbouring thoughts of him being the first man to take Mike Tyson the full distance. Would be a first, wouldn't it? Round 4 then. Oh, good shot. That's a short sneak right. Halpin's head jerked back. Now, Tyson has switched back to orthodox for this round. He's maybe had enough of playing around with southpaw. Maybe it was just a little vanity exercise. Maybe Kevin Rooney has said to him, "Okay, boy, you've had your fun. Now time for business." Well, this is a much slower and much more measured Mike Tyson in Albany tonight. Good right hand, Halpin down. You, behind the camera, had the most perfect view of that. Only difference is you saw the punch, Don Halpin didn't. Mandatory 8 early in the 4th. Can Tyson finish this? I think so. I think so. That's enough. Now that last right-hander, that was questionable. Tyson celebrates. I didn't like to see that because Halpin was down and the back of his head snapped against the rope, and that could have been very dangerous. He's still a little bit dazed, is Don Halpin. Well, Tyson won. It was the manner of his victory, that one last right-hander. And they're keeping Halpin. Now, this I don't like to see. This is a little bit worrying. Halpin took one punch too many. The referee, I don't think he could have done much more than he did, to be quite honest with you. And I'm sure we'll see a replay in a minute. Yeah, here we go. Now, this is the punch, the left hook that drives him across the ring. The fight was over then. Bang! That was the punch that caused all the damage. And the referee looked admonishingly at Tyson. I think he had stopped the fight by that point. It was the left hook, right hook combination that had finished it. Halpin was out on his feet at that point. If the ropes hadn't interrupted him, he would have been on the canvas. And that one extra right hook from Tyson, unnecessary.
In the blue corner, wearing the green trunks with the white trim. He tipped in at 236 1/4 pounds. This gentleman has 17 wins, 9 losses with 8 knockouts. All the way from San Jose, California. Boxing fans, here is Irish Michael Jamieson. Jamieson. And his opponent in the red corner, wearing the solid black trunks. He weighed in at an even 215 pounds. This young man is undefeated in 16 professional bouts with 16 straight knockouts. From Catskill, New York, ladies and gentlemen, here is Mike Tyson. Tyson.
The rule was given to you earlier.
Tyson only 19, Jamieson the veteran, a huge height and weight advantage and a 2-inch reach advantage for Jamieson. Mike Tyson is the story. The young man originally from Brooklyn, product of a troubled childhood, now on the verge of becoming a world-class man. Don't blink. This is round number 1.
That's the word to use, Ken. I don't think there's going to be too much of a feeling out process, so to speak, in this fight. Tyson is noted for his very vicious quick starts, and he has set the pace right from the word go.
Mike Tyson is a finisher. He's established that early in his career.
He started the fight off with some wicked right punches and left hooks to the body, which seems to be his trademark. People have compared his punching power to guys like George Foreman and Joe Frazier, saying he punches the same, but he's so much faster.
It could be over early. As we pointed out, 12 of his 16 pro fights have ended in the very first round. Tyson's longest fight, a 4th-round KO of Don Halpin in his 3rd pro fight. Remember, he's been a pro for only 11 months.
Yeah, Ken, he has a long road ahead of him. He is a young, strong kid. He does, as they say, have a lot to learn, but he's got plenty of time.
Round number 1.
Jameson is doing what I think he has to do, and that's keep on the move, keep Tyson off balance, and don't lay on those ropes and let him get set up for those wicked punches he throws. He's connecting very well, though, with some good body shots, hard body shots. Jameson's tying him up pretty effectively, tying those punches up in close, not allowing Tyson to get off of these punches.
Mike Jameson in the green. You look at him, he's done what a lot of fighters have been unable to do against Mike Tyson. He's lasted 1 minute and 45 seconds.
Jameson's hands seem to be dropping rather fast, though. He's a little bit concerned about those hard body punches, and as you see now, both his hands are down by chest level, and that's just the opening I think Tyson's waiting for.
Tyson fought just 13 days ago, and he had a 1st-round knockout of Dave Jacko. His next fight, February 16th against Carl the Truth Williams in Troy, New York. And that really will be the first big test for Mike Tyson. This is the 1st round. He's trying to finish off Mike Jameson.
Tyson connected with a good right hand there, and he immediately come back with a good left hook to the body. That's a very good sign that this young fighter is learning what his trainers are telling him. Don't go head hunting. When you connect with that head punch, go right to the body. Jameson now within 15 seconds of surviving the 1st round. Will he survive? We'll stay here at the end of round number 1. Mike Tyson in the black trunks figures to be the next heavyweight champion of the world. Tyson, he's after him, and that's the end of round number 1. Mike Jameson will tell his grandchildren he survived a round against Mike Tyson. Set now for round number 2. Mike Tyson takes a quick left from Jameson. Yeah, Jameson, I think his corners told him, hey man, you've got the reach, why don't you use it? Get that left jab out and keep this little guy off you. Here comes Tyson. Jameson battling back right above us here in Atlantic City. Ooh, a right connects to Tyson. One thing about Tyson, he has really not been tested in his career. A lot of the so to speak boxing experts are wondering now what happens when this young kid who can punch so hard hits someone and they're still standing there and comes back and hits them back. Is he going to be discouraged or what? This is what experience will tell. Everybody's yet to find this out. Approaching the 1 minute mark in the 2nd round. Of course, we say Tyson hasn't been tested, certainly not as a pro. As an amateur, he lost to 1984 Olympic gold medalist Henry Tillman. That took away his opportunity to compete in the 84 Olympics in Los Angeles. Jameson has suffered a cut over his left eye. He has a pretty bad cut just over the left eye. It's in a very bad position because if it starts bleeding profusely, it's going to go in the eye and it's going to affect his vision. I think it was opened with some of those nice uppercuts that Tyson's been throwing when he gets close to him. Quite a contrast in conditioning here. Tyson superbly conditioned. Tyson does not have that extreme height. He's 5'11", has the huge neck, 19 3/4 inches. Tyson, the strong left to Jameson in round number 2. Tyson is showing me at least some tremendous power. His opponent weighs 236 pounds, and he is just pushing this big guy all over the ring, pushing him away, maneuvering him into positions where he wants him to be so as he can land the best punches. He's showing me some tremendous strength in there. And the blood on the face of Mike Jameson very evident here in the 2nd round. Jameson this morning had a full beard. He was informed by the boxing folks here in New Jersey that would have to disappear, and it has. Good right hand landed there, and as you've seen, Jameson shook his head as if to say, no, he didn't hurt me, but 99% of the time, it did hurt him.
The left, the right to the side, late in the second round. Referee Joe Cortez breaking up the fighters. And Tyson just keeps coming at Mike Jamison. Mike Jamison comes out swinging against Mike Tyson. The third round. Tyson, as a pro, has rarely seen the third round.
I think Mike Tyson doesn't know the words back up. He has not taken one backward step in this fight. He has been continually pushing forward, pushing the fight, setting his type of pace.
Tyson very, very dedicated.
Vicious right hand just landed there from Mike Tyson. Jamison grabbed him, held on to him, cleared his head a little bit. A little bit of experience is starting to show here. Jamison, he knows what to do when he gets hurt.
He's done quite a bit of clutching and grabbing in the first 3 rounds. And if you were in that position, that would be a pretty good philosophy. You see the low blow, and Tyson gets a warning, and Jamison let everyone know that he'd been hit below the belt.
Yeah, a little bit showmanship there, but as you heard the response from the crowd, we've got a very pro-Tyson crowd here. They showed their disrespect for what the judge's decision there. Again, Tyson just continues to bind to those ribs.
It is a pro-Mike Tyson boxing world here in the first month of 1986. They're hungry for a new heavyweight, for someone who is as aggressive as Mike Tyson. And he certainly is showing what has gotten him to a 16-0 record here tonight in the early rounds against an outmatched Mike Jamison.
A lot of holding going on right now, Ken. The Jamison's starting to feel the effects of those big punches, such as that good right hand that snuck in there. And he's starting to hold on, buy some time, clear his head. This is where the experience comes in. This is what Mike Tyson is going to have to learn to do.
There was a very quick round. Now, round number 4, as we mentioned, Tyson only once has been taken as far as the 4th round. That was in his 3rd fight as a pro. This is his 17th fight.
I caught just when Jamison went into that clinch there. He's 6'4", yet he dropped his head really low and clashed heads with Mike Tyson. The referee picked it up, thinking that Jamison's intentionally trying to butt Tyson and gave him the warning. This is all experience. This is what having 31 pro fights does for you. You learn all these little tricks.
Mike Tyson getting tested more tonight than he usually has been, and knows that Charles the Truth Williams in mid-February will test him even further.
Yes, this will be a good tune-up fight for him. The longer it goes, the more he learns. You learn everything. You learn things from every fight that you fight in.
Mike Tyson takes 2 steps forward. Let's go with a couple of lefts. Now a right, a left. He's got him down. Mike Tyson sends Mike Jamison to the mat here in round number 4. And very quickly, Jamison gets up, shakes his head. Joe Cortez right there, the referee. And Jamison wants to continue.
Watch the quick flurries that Tyson throws, Ken. He throws flurries and punches like a welterweight. It's very seldom you see a heavyweight throw a combination of 5 and 6 punches, but Mike Tyson does it.
Here he is again. The word explosive, really not enough to describe the punches of Mike Tyson. At age 19, trying to extend his record to 17-0.
Mike Tyson's been noted for his finishes. They say that once he gets a guy hurt, he knows how to get him out of there, and he's going about it the right way.
Here he comes, Tyson, who wants to be a finisher like Ray Leonard, Ray Robinson, and Joe Louis, trying to finish Mike Jamison here in the 4th round in Atlantic City. And if there is a round 5, that'll be an extremely unique position for young Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson landed an explosive left hook there as he jumped in. I really don't know what's keeping Jamison on his feet. He's just one tough customer.
The last half minute of the 4th round. Don Halpin took Tyson into the 4th round before he was KO'd in Tyson's 3rd pro fight. Now, Jamison trying to extend Tyson to the 5th round here tonight.
Here we have the knockdown, Ken. You see the explosive punches he throws. A flurry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8 punches. You don't see that in heavyweight divisions.
That, the knockdown in the 4th round. This is live action in round 5. Mike Jamison, the 31-year-old from Cupertino, California, near San Jose. Mike Tyson, Sports Illustrated cover boy, trying to end it here in round number 5.
Jamison is doing at this point what I think he should have been doing from the first. Oh, he just took a right hand to the top of the head.
Down to one knee. Jamison. Joe Cortez, the referee, with a count, and Jamison suffering his 2nd knockdown here in the 5th round. Back up in the corner, and one thing, he's a showman. Jamison wants to continue. Referee Joe Cortez says no. Jamison says he wants to go on, but the referee Joe Cortez says it is over here in the 5th round with a knockout. The knockdown, and Mike Tyson is a winner again. His record goes to 17-0.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Joe Cortez stops this bout at 46 seconds of the 5th round, and a winner by a TKO for his 17th straight win in as many pro bouts, Mike
Tillman against Michael Tyson. They fought in Fort Worth. Tillman won the decision, I thought deservedly, but Michael Tyson, under the teaching of Customato. You remember Customato, the manager of Floyd Patterson? Michael Tyson developing with enormous rapidity and a pulverizing puncher. And that's what Tillman has to avoid. He succeeded in Fort Worth, but will he be able to succeed tonight? And I spoke with both men before the fight. Let's meet them.
We have no concern about the knockout. The man does have a sledgehammer punch.
Well, yeah, my point of view on that, if you stand there and let a guy hit you and plant and put an X on your jaw and haul off and sock you, of course he's going to knock you out. I'd knock somebody out if they stand there and let me punch him. But if we're moving and taking his leverage off the punches with my jab and keeping him from setting, it's going to be very hard for him to knock me out.
Okay, good luck to you.
All right, thank you, Al.
I don't feel that he can improve much because everything that he knows now is going to take him through the pros and wherever he's going to go, where I'm continually improving myself. And I improved myself on cutting the ring down a lot, and I look forward to a victory here.
Okay, met both fighters, heard from them. Now, the tale of the tape. Tyson just turned 18. Tillman, the taller man, with the apparently big reach edge. But Tyson comes at you. He's been skillfully taught by Customato. While he looks raw, he actually is very effective at slipping punches when you think he's no boxer. The third man in the ring, by the way, is Elmo Adolph from New Orleans, Louisiana. The 5 judges at ringside: Paul Connor from Milwaukee, Ed Urbick from Shrewsbury, Massachusetts, John Hollis from St. Louis, Marco Safaras from L.A., and Carmen Williamson from Toledo. The action begins. Quickly, Tillman goes to the familiar role. Steady movement. Try and use the jab and keep Tyson off you. He was knocked down in the first round, Tillman was, by Tyson in Fort Worth on June the 10th. Came back to win the fight. Tillman Everyone in the crowd yelling, "Cut him off, Michael." You heard Tyson say that's exactly what he wants to do, plans to do, if he can do it. Tillman will keep using that jab, get it in there, score, and get out in a hurry, if he can. Very basic boxing there. First round action. Thus far, it's been almost a replay of the first fight between the two, except that from nowhere, Tyson got to Tillman in the first round. One can see Tyson developing from fight to fight. As a boxer, I mean. No longer awkward, flat-footed. He's not fast, no question about that. He doesn't have the body to be fast. But he's not ponderous either. Coming to the end of round one. You watch Tyson fight, and there's an air of expectancy. When will he connect? And then what happens if he does? How is he at finishing a fight? Couldn't do it in the first fight. But he's got a succession of knockouts as an amateur. First round ends. We'll be back.
Here's the lead story.
There you see Mike Tyson, the bell for the second round. Elmo Adolph, the referee. First round, I think, fought to Tillman's pace and plan. Very little scoring being done, really, by either fighter. Tillman not willing to take any chances. Tyson desperate to get in there. D'Amato feels that the amateur judges have not been fair to his fighter. He thought Tyson won the last time around against Tillman. He's entitled to his opinion, of course. But Tillman won an unanimous decision. And one is always very subjective about one's fighter. Fight is hardly setting a high mark in excitement. Give Tyson this. He's trying to force the action. But there you saw Tillman get in a couple of blows and then out. This won't be too easy a fight to score either, unless something dramatic happens. 76 years old now. He's the legal guardian of that young man, and the young man is really his life. It's as simple as that. This ABC Sports Exclusive is being brought to you by Lotus, makers of 1, 2, 3, and Symphony Software. By Rust-Oleum, the paint for metal. When the elements come, be ready with tough, long-lasting Rust-Oleum. And by Sharp Electronic Corporation. From sharp minds come sharp products. There's Terrell Biggs. He's getting ready. He doesn't seem the same Terrell Biggs to me. He's been complaining of pains in his ribs. We'll be talking with him. You'll get the story directly from him. He hasn't sparred for a long number of weeks. And I don't know. He just doesn't seem to be up, mentally or physically. Maybe he'll be different in the ring. Round 3. Let's see what Tyson can do. Round 3. Tyson, aggressive, but a touch wild there. Elmo Adolph cautioning Tyson, as you saw. Back to the action. I'd like to seize a moment, if I may. Bruce Arledge, president of ABC News and Sports, had recent minor surgery, is recovering very swiftly, will be back on the job next week. And on behalf of his many minions posted everywhere, we should like to wish him very well indeed. Third and final round. A good right by Tyson. Finally, he got that in there. And Tillman felt it, and he will stay away. Didn't come until the third round. Tillman knows this is no time for him to make a mistake. However, Tillman has not fought nearly as effectively as he did in Fort Worth, I don't think. So little scoring by either party. Fight clearly forced in terms of aggressiveness, but that doesn't count in amateur boxing. Does count in professional boxing scoring. Aggressive. Counting down to the end of the fight. And Tyson would so like to get in there and score. Okay, that's it. We follow Mike Tyson to his corner, and I think he's got a better shot at winning this fight by far than he had the last time around. We'll be back with more coverage of the Olympic box offs after this ABC promo and a word from our local stations.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the Trump Casino Hotel on the boardwalk in Atlantic City, let's get ready to rumble. This is in the heavyweight division, scheduled for 6 rounds, and something's got to give. They're both undefeated. The referee for this bout is Frank Cappuccino. Introducing first in the red corner, wearing the red trunks with white trim, weighing 226.5 pounds, from Cabin Creek, West Virginia, his professional record: 4 consecutive victories, all by knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, John Alderson. And his opponent in the blue corner, wearing the white trunks with red, white, and blue trim, and weighing in at 215 pounds even, from Catskill, New York. His professional record: also 4 consecutive victories, all by knockout. Introducing Mike Tyson.
He'll be the popular one tonight as Frank Cappuccino talks to him.
I want you to understand one thing. I want a good, clean, hard fight. Any low blows, any thumbing, heeling, butting, the holding and hitting will cost you the round. And if I have to go further, I'll do that also. In the event of a knockdown, the man standing, go to the farthest neutral corner, stay there until I call him back. Okay? When I say break, I want you to protect yourself at all times, and you step back clean. Both of you understand that. Both of you touch gloves. Good luck.
Well, the folks back in West Virginia may not recognize this man without his miner's hat. He's come out of the mines to fight. He won May 31st, a second-round knockout over George Mayweather. And his opponent also with a 1-round, as a matter of fact, 39-second fight against Rick Spain here in Atlantic City on June 20th. That's Tyson. Tyson in the white with the red stripe, solid red trunks. With the white stripe will be John Alderson. Alderson, a tremendous height advantage. Al, how much will that play a factor in tonight's fight?
Well, he has got to keep Tyson off him. Use the jab, the straight right hand. And Mike Tyson gets inside very effectively. It's one of the things he does. So, and he'll go to the body once he gets there. So I don't know if the height in itself will be a big edge for Alderson.
Alderson said if he does get inside, look for me to tie him up. I'm not going to try to rumble with him in there.
I don't blame him.
So Frank Cappuccino will have a busy night tonight, and this 6-rounder may not last very long with the kind of shots there. A left hook right to the face that time of Alderson.
That was a strange punch, but Tyson is so powerful. No matter how he delivers those punches, they hurt. Boy, every punch Tyson throws is meant to knock you out. Now, as he gets on against tough competition, the question is, when he comes in like this, will he get nailed with counter shots? That's really what Alderson wants to do.
Tyson, you heard documented, of course, the young man fighting very well, amateur 25-2. A boxing historian, reads book after book of boxing and watches all historic films of the greats.
He's got an edge. His manager, Jimmy Jacobs, has the largest fight film collection in the world, so he can look at all those. He does look at all the former heavyweight champs. And of course, he's a long way from being that, but he's such raw talent at his age, you can't help but think about it.
Al, how much pressure and how much can a 19-year-old take putting the pressure on to be the youngest champion in the world?
Well, of course, that's them talking. That's Customato and Tyson making these bold predictions, and they put pressure on themselves. Now, Tyson switches to southpaw. I haven't seen him do that before.
Interesting. Lands with the lead left. Alderson is already bleeding from the nose, and I think that was from the very first left hand. Tyson, you can see almost like a bull as he just chases Alderson around the ring. Big John said he had to get off first tonight. He has got to use those long arms to his advantage. He has not been able to do so far in round 1.
You know, when Tyson switches to southpaw, I think that's the clue for Alderson with that long reach and height to throw the straight right hand. I would just let that punch go.
Alderson, a very good amateur record, 154-12. Took 3 years off from boxing, however. Worked in the mines in West Virginia. They started the laying off down there, and he went back into the boxing ring. And here he is at 4-0 with 4 knockouts.
And already he's at a rugged first round. For Alderson, I think the key, he has got to throw that jab and follow with the straight right. Has done that only once and did land the right, although it didn't hurt Tyson. There it is. Now that right missed, but if he keeps doing that, he's going to give Mike Tyson something to think about as he comes in. There it is again, and he landed the right.
At least to keep him from lunging at him with the big hands that he's throwing so far.
That's exactly right, Sam.
So the closing seconds of round number 1. Mike Tyson, the short of the two, against Big John Alderson.
Mike Tyson delivers punches often in a very awkward fashion. Look at this left hand. That was a jab, but boy, he was off balance when he threw it. Still had a lot of power against Alderson.
This is round number 2 of a scheduled 6-rounder heavyweights. Mike Tyson in the white trunks, Big John Alderson in the red. Alderson hailing from Cabin Creek, West Virginia, the home of the great basketball player, former Los Angeles Laker Jerry West. Alderson, as a matter of fact, plays basketball and softball just to stay in shape right now. I'd take him as the center of my ball club.
Yeah, I think so. Muscle underneath. Now, Tyson, they told him to go to the body, and he's trying to do that in this round. But Mike hasn't been that busy when he gets on the inside. Good uppercut by Tyson.
Alderson, you saw there, tried to lead in with a left jab and a right hand, but left himself wide open for the ducking Mike Tyson as he went right underneath.
Mike Tyson doesn't wear any socks. I don't remember seeing a fighter in a long time that doesn't wear any socks. Or if he does, they're so short they don't even peek out over his shoes. I don't know what that's apropos of. It's the first time I've ever seen it, and it's kind of odd. Now there's the right. Oh, good countering right hand, and that stunned Alderman.
He backs up another right hand, a combination by Tyson, and he goes on the attack.
On the inside, Tyson is just ferocious. He throws those good, short, quick punches.
The longest fight Tyson has ever been in has been a 4-rounder. He got a knockout there. His other 3 fights were first-round knockouts. Didn't help, but I guess is the only man, and this one may not go much longer, as a crushing right hand sends Alderson down. He's got a terrible cut over the left eye already. Frank Cappuccino right down in his face. He's going to make the count at 8. But that cut just on the outside of the left eye starts to ooze some blood now, and Tyson goes right back in on top of it. Tyson trying for his 5th straight knockout. Alderson weary on his feet, ready to go at any time.
He's just trying to survive now. He's got to throw something out, though. He's laying in with Tyson. Frank may stop this fight.
Ruling that as a slip, not a knockdown. Alderson peeking in over that swelling left eye, and here comes Tyson. Alderson throwing a right hand, no effect. Left hand that time, sends him reeling against the ropes. He's almost virtually out on his feet right now, 29 years of age. Again, as I pointed out at the top of the show, that in itself could prove to be some difference in this fight, if nothing else.
You know, Tyson looked at Cappuccino a moment ago as if, do you want to stop this?
There he goes right back to work on that left eye as Alderson stays on his feet. Try to gamely throw a right hand as you see the closing moments of the second round here. Alderson down in this round. May survive as he goes down again at the bell. He's got to get up. Now, a fighter cannot be saved by the bell in any round with the exception of the last. So he must come to his feet at the ruling of the referee says okay. He is, and he goes into his corner. But if he comes out to answer this bell, it'll be a gutty performance by Big John Alderson.
Here's his mouthpiece. Here's his mouthpiece. Here. Here's his mouthpiece.
Why don't you just come back and fight another time? Huh? Okay.
So you heard the suggestion of the doctors leaning in. Why don't you just come back and fight another day? Frank Cappuccino has not given us a word yet that this one is over, but he may very shortly here.
John, church is out. The fight's over.
The fight is over, rather interestingly put by Frank Cappuccino, as this one ends officially a TKO in the second round by Mike Tyson. So Tyson goes 5-0 with all 5 knockouts, and it was a devastating second round that proved to be the difference.
Those short right hands. Now, what happened is Alderman tried to throw the right hand continually, but what happened was Tyson learned how to counter it with his own right. And there's a good straight right hand by Mike Tyson. That sent Alderson down, and that was the first knockdown, I believe. And there's a happy Mike Tyson.
You know, Al, you almost, as you pointed out, Mike kept looking to Frank Cappuccino saying, hey, this guy's not in real good shape. I can go ahead and keep hitting him, but indeed he did till the end of the round. Again, Alderson down at the end of the round. He had to clear the canvas by the count, obviously beat the count. Not saved by the bell. He does, and finally the doctors lean in and say, That's it, and Frank Cappuccino calls it off at the end of 2.
It was a very typical Tyson performance. However, you know what? It showed both the good and the bad at this point of Tyson, because I think it showed that a good stand-up boxer with a good jab and a good straight right hand will land against him. Whether he'll hurt him, I don't know. But as you look at that young man for 19, you have to like the strength and aggressiveness he has.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Frank Cappuccino stops the bout at the end of the second round. The winner by technical knockout, still undefeated, 5 in a row, all by KO, Mike Tyson.
Well, Tyson, it looks like he may have just had a walk in the park rather than a fight tonight with...
Fight number 13 for Mike Tyson. We're back in Latham. It's the same Mike Tyson. It is not the same camp. This is his second fight since the tragic death of Customato on the 4th of November. This is the 22nd, and we're against an opponent who just might be the one to test him. In all Tyson's early fights, well, in his latter fights anyway, I've said that we really need to see a better class of opponent, and I think we might have got that tonight in the shape of Conroy Nelson, who's been in with some good fighters. Conroy Nelson, Canadian, ranked number 2 in the Canadian heavyweight scene. As I said, he's been in with some good fighters. He's fought Razor Ruddock. He lost on a disqualification to Razor Ruddock. No, I lie. He went the distance with Razor Ruddock, 10 rounds. He lost his next one. I should know that. I saw it, disqualification against Noel Corliss, the Liverpool boy, in 7 rounds in Bloomsbury. But he's been in, as I say, with some decent opposition. He's fought for the Canadian title against Trevor Berbick. Berbick stiffed him in 2. Berbick is a world-class fighter. So if anybody is going to test Mike Tyson, Conroy Nelson is just the right sort of opponent at this stage of his career. The cornerman you might have seen wearing the ring jacket of former world light heavyweight champion Matthew Saad Mohammed from a few years back. Tyson just looks awesome, doesn't he? This, as I say, fight number 13 of the previous 12. 9 have been won inside a round. In fact, I was there when he was stretched by Don Halpin, 4 rounds in his 3rd fight. So here we go then, round 1. Both boys in white. Tyson with the red trim, and Nelson with the black. Nelson, as I say, will try, has to use his height and reach to just keep Tyson at bay. Try and draw the sting for the first 2 or 3 rounds, because we know how dangerous Tyson can be early on. And Nelson on his bike early. Guard held high, peekaboo style. Don't want to let it drop. And Nelson can hit. Tyson needs to be a little bit careful this fight. He's been able to get away with liberties in 1 or 2 of his early fights because he has known his opponents cannot hurt him. This is not the case in this fight. If Nelson gets an opening, Nelson can bing one in. Touchdown briefly there, thanks to body shots. The right knee just clipped the canvas. Oh, he's shaky. He's so shaky, and we're only in round 1. And this is a good fighter. I can hardly believe what I'm seeing. Sit down, please, sir. Thank you. This is the trouble when we're crammed in alongside spectators at ringside. Somebody gets excited and stands up in front of the camera. We can't see. More importantly, you can't see. Tyson can see. Tyson likes what he's seeing. Well, while our vision was momentarily obscured, Nelson seems to have recovered a little bit of equilibrium. In fact, he comes back with a short chopping right of his own there, gets through, but he's covering up very, very tightly now. If he was under any illusions just how good a puncher Mike Tyson was, those illusions will have been sorely shattered. Tyson just falling centimetres short with that big arcing right. Referee just letting him get on with it. Just a little word. Don't keep it too close, boys. Well, Nelson, after a real alarming wobble midway through, Might be getting through this first round, but he hasn't looked convincing, has he? Tries to come back with a spearing left of his own, but Tyson left uppercut gets through, and once again Nelson looks a little bit confused, dazed and confused. That term might have been coined for Conroy Nelson tonight. In Latham, hard to think that Tyson, I watched his pro debut, 6th of March, it's what, 22nd of November now. Boy, is he coming on, and boy, is he making an impact in the heavyweight division. Nelson hurt, needs a breather. I think that punch might have been a little bit low. The referee allowing Nelson just a moment or two to recover himself. Gets clipped with a left on the belt. And somehow, well, the ref comes over, says, just keep your punches up. Kevin Rooney tries to wave him off. The referee says, I'm in charge here. Okay, we're in the second. And once again, it's all Tyson. And Nelson, who was in deep trouble, is in deeper trouble as the left hook, which is fast becoming a Tyson trademark, sends him down. The gum shield has been spat out. Nelson says, that's it, thank you very much. I think discretion, the better part of valor there. Conroy Nelson spat the gum shield out, walked back to his corner. Well, fight number 13, unlucky 13, I don't think so. 13 fights, 13 wins. At least Nelson got him into the second round. Tyson now observing the post-fight niceties. I thought Conroy Nelson, well, in fact, I wasn't the only one who thought Conroy Nelson would stretch him, and he did, into round 2.
Very good fighter, experienced fighter, within good fighters. But a friend of mine from Canada called Davey Hilton was telling me about him and about being the clutch he tried to hold one time. But he surprised me because he wasn't trying to hold, he was fighting.
I'm going to tell you something. I think he was here to pick up a paycheck. The first round, all he did was cover up.
Well, maybe he was a little leery about the puncher power. But again, that's you saying because you're not fighting. He took some good shots, but anybody else, they would have quit.
Yeah, that right-left was devastating.
Thank you very much, sir.
So now Mike Tyson is 13-0, all of his victories coming by knockout, and no bout has gone past the 4th round. So you got to wonder, when's the KO kid going to move up in class?
If everything goes the way it's been going, I'd put Mike in the ring in about June or July against somebody in the top 10. But you must remember, once you break into the top 10...
The man who made Floyd Patterson not once but twice the heavyweight champion of the world. And his young fighter, 17 years of age, Mike Tyson. Today, he fought another young fighter. Not a polished fighter, but a man of tremendous slugging ability and a man who showed some improvement as a boxer. You'll see all of this for yourselves when we take you to second round action, exactly as I called it, between Mike Tyson and Henry Milligan of Princeton. All right, the bell for round 2. Remember, heavyweights. Tyson to your left, just 17 years of age. Milligan, the Princetonian. Now to the left of your screen. And Sarah Fast quickly cautioning Tyson. Get them up. Get the lows up. Milligan can take a punch, though, I'll say that, regardless of what the Cuban did to him in Reno. Tyson appeared to me in the first round to be tired, just 17, having fought last night, and D'Amato has worked him lightly the last 2 weeks because of a back injury. Tyson is such a terrific puncher. It's smart for him to go to the belly as he began there with the right and then up with the left, because he can paralyze you with those blows to the belly. Kid is a bull. He's built exactly like a bull. There's no question about it. Milligan only slightly less so. Now Milligan showing some boxing. That's the instruction he got in the corner between rounds. Stay away from him, use that left jab, double up on it, and then pump the right. It's exactly what the corner told him. And Milligan has never showed the boxing skills to do that kind of thing, but right now he's doing well in the boxing sense.
Second round action with 1:35 left to go in the round. Cautioning Tyson again. The crowd roars in disapproval. You saw Milligan trying to jab that. It was a pawing jab, but at least some kind of boxing style. And then he came in with a decent enough right. I can't believe that Milligan, well, he's not a good fighter. He was hurt right there, standing 8 count. That's the danger of fighting Tyson. You can get hit and go at any time. Because remember now, that counts for no more than a single cleanly scored blow. Tyson quickly with a right, Milligan in trouble. And this is the second standing 8 count. And suddenly the whole tide of affairs has changed. And it is young Tyson, the 17-year-old, who has drawn from within himself and shown his enormous striking power. Remember, under the rules, one more, that's it, fight's over. And suddenly, from nowhere, all of the power I told you about. Young Tyson, Mike Tyson, trained by Cus D'Amato. D'Amato says this young man is my reason for still living. I care about him. He is, in fact, my son. That's the way I view him. And so Cus D'Amato, here in the arena, is going crazy over what his disciple has just done. This is the first standing 8. It was a right, as you saw, and quickly in to call it, properly so, Marco Sarabas. What action in this, the second round. It was 2 minutes, 19 seconds as the referee stopped the contest. So the young man from Princeton, superbly skilled in academics and a brilliant all-around athlete, continues for whatever reason his quest to be a fighter, but that quest grows more and more questionable. This will be the final knockdown. There's the right lead again, holding on Milligan, and finally that right, short right chopping uppercut, and boom, down went Milligan, and it was over. Referee stops contest, and young Mike Tyson moves ahead, winning his semi-final match in these, the 1984 Olympic trials.
All right, back again in Fort Worth, Texas, and Cus D'Amato. One quick question, Cus. He's just 17. How good is he going to become?
I think he's going to be heavyweight champion of the world one day.
Does he need a lot of work on his boxing skills?
Well, he needs a lot of experience, a lot of fights. He's only had, I believe, about 18 to 20 fights, most of them which have ended in the early rounds. So it doesn't constitute a great deal of actual experience. He's far beyond his experience.
Were you worried during the course of the fight when suddenly Milligan was scoring with some evidence of boxing basics?
No, I wasn't worried because he wasn't hitting cleanly. I know he's a good puncher, but he wasn't hitting cleanly.
Mike, as I turn to you, my young friend, how do you feel about what you did today, and how far do you think you've come in your career?
I came a long way past. In 1 year, I progressed a great deal. Just winning the National Golden Gloves, and now coming in the semifinals and planning to win the whole tournament. And about the fight, I was a bit rusty because I had a bad slight pinched nerve in my shoulder, and I wasn't sure, but I wanted to win the title so bad, I made myself heal. And now I came here and I'm having fun.
And now the dream is Olympic gold.
Yes.
Good luck to you,
Thank
Mike.
you very much.
It was just a stirring performance. Great comeback, and you showed a lot.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. You felt that Tillman in the Olympic trials outboxed Tyson, used his lateral movement and good jab, and those are skills you have, but you can punch also.
Yes. I plan on boxing Tyson, too. I think that I can box as good as he can, and I'll keep him in the middle of the ring, and I can punch if not better than Tyson.
Will this be a win that puts Donnie Long back into the heavyweight picture?
This will be a win to let everybody know that Donnie Long is back.
Well, 8 previous opponents thought that they were the toughest for Mike Tyson. Donnie Long may well be. Let's meet him officially. Here's ring announcer Michael Buffer.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we stay in the heavyweight division. Man your battle stations. This is going to be a good one, scheduled for 6 rounds. The referee for this bout is Frank Cappuccino. Introducing first in the red corner, He's wearing the red trunks with gold trim and weighs 215 3/4 pounds from Youngstown, Ohio. His professional record, an excellent one, 15 wins, 3 losses, 10 by knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, Donnie, the master of disaster, Long. And his opponent in the blue corner, wearing the white trunks with green trim, weighing 215 3/4 pounds also. He's from Catskill, New York. Undefeated in 8 consecutive bouts, all knockout victories. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Tyson.
Interesting enough, both fighters weighed identical, 215 3/4 today.
Evening, gentlemen. You both received your instructions in the dressing room. I want a good, clean, hard fight. Both ears touch gloves. Good luck to both of you.
Again, Donnie Long out of the ring, but he's returned for 2 fights. The last August 27th, a knockout of Frank Draper, second straight knockout in '85. And Tyson with 8 consecutive knockouts, put down Michael Johnson 39 seconds into the first round, his 5th first-round knockout in his 8 professional fights. Again, Tyson in the white, in the red and the gold is Donnie Long, and Tyson goes right in with the left hand.
Mike Tyson has enormous strength, and that's what he will try and test Donnie Long with. Long himself can punch pretty good. He's got some power, but the key for Long, I think, in his fight is to counterpunch well against Tyson, hit him as he's coming in.
Tyson again, another one of those fresh youngsters, only 19 years of age. Long is 27.
Oh, wow.
My.
Well, that was quick.
Tyson putting him down here early in the first. Frank Cappuccino looking on closely. You see Long holding those gloves up to say he's all right, but is he? Here comes Tyson. Left hand again.
Well, he nearly sent Long out of the ring with that left hook.
Tyson. Oh, Long is down. Second time. Another knockdown.
There is no 3 knockdown rule, but the referee can stop it after 3 if he decides so. This is very impressive. Mike Tyson not expected to come out this strong against Long.
5 of 8 have fallen in the first. Is it 6 of 9 as Tyson comes out with a strong right hand barrage again?
This is as bad as I've ever seen Donnie Long look, but give Tyson credit. That's it. Wow.
The left hand puts him down. He collapses, and this one is over as the doctors rush into the ring.
Make no mistake about it. That was a good performance. Not just because of what he did, as you look at Donnie Long, and he's talking to the doctor, we certainly hope he's okay, but because he did it against a fighter who, even though he's not what he was 2 years ago, is still should be more than a journeyman heavyweight. Boy, he's strong. That young man is strong, and for Donnie Long, he felt the effects of that strength.
You know, it was interesting to see Long when he thought he was going to get up and then just kind of crumpled down again. We had fear for the injury for Long, but you can see he's up, and Tyson celebrating here, and Long is up. And now the celebration can go as we take a look again at a disastrous first round for Donnie Long, a big one for Mike Tyson.
Donnie Long came out with the hopes of boxing Tyson, but there, Tyson gets in with a very good left hook on which he had great leverage and hurt Long. I think Long didn't expect that he would be able to be hurt. This is a man, remember, that went 10 with James Broad, 10 with John Tate. Couldn't go even 2 with that man, Mike Tyson.
Well, Kevin Rooney looking on, manager Jim Jacobs out in the crowd. Mark Baranski also there as young Mike Tyson has put away Donnie Long in the first.
The end of the fight, that left hand, such a short left hand, but delivered really well by Tyson. And they've been working to shorten his punches, and it has been effective.
Well, I know there's a guy smiling out there, Gus Diamata, 77-year-old trainer of Mike Tyson. And let's officially get the time of another first-round knockout for Tyson. Here's Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's the official time. 1 minute, 28 seconds of the first round. 9 consecutive knockouts, 9 consecutive victories. The winner by knockout, Mike Tyson.
Fight starts, I'm in the dressing room, I'm coming towards. I basically think I'm staying relaxed. I've been doing this for 5 years, and I put in so much time, and I mostly think about what I'm going to do. Pop my jab, move my head, and be fast, and think about the display of damage that I'm going to give to the opponent.
And he has brought a lot of damage to his opponents in his short professional career, which began on March 6th of this year. He is 6-0 with 6 knockouts. The longest any fight has gone is 4 rounds. He has 3 first-round knockouts. We are set for the introduction. So is Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, man your battle stations. In the ring at this time, we have undefeated heavyweights. This bout is scheduled for 6 rounds. The referee is Joe Cortez. Introducing first in the red corner. He's wearing the white trunks with green trim and weighs 214.5 pounds. He's from Catskill, New York. Undefeated in 6 consecutive bouts, all by knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Tyson. And his opponent in the blue corner. He's wearing the blue trunks with white trim and weighs 203.5 pounds from the Motor City, Detroit, Michigan. He is also undefeated in 3 consecutive bouts with a knockout victory to his credit. Introducing Lorenzo Kennedy.
Both familiar with New Jersey State Athletic Commission rules. I'm here to enforce them. When I say break, I want you both to break clean. If there's a knockdown, the fighter scoring a knockdown, let's go to the farthest neutral corner, remaining for three to come out. Fighter going down, let's take the mandatory 8 count. I don't want any rough tactics, and I don't want any fouling or hitting on the break. Understood? All right, shake hands, protect yourselves at all times.
Mike Tyson, last fight was July 19th when he knocked out Larry Sims in Poughkeepsie, New York in the 3rd round. Lorenzo Kennedy, last fight, a 6-round decision victory on July 25th in Birmingham, Michigan over Vernon Bridges. And look at Tyson go right after Kennedy. Now Kennedy is a boxer but gets knocked down with the first left hook he takes. Look at the power already from Mike Tyson. Mandatory 8 count. 7. Given by Joe Cortez. Kennedy, little shaky now, takes a right hand. This one could end in a hurry. Kennedy in serious trouble.
Now, this is the prototype of Mike Tyson's fights. He comes right at you, and boy, he is blazing when he comes out.
Is he intimidating? When you see big Mike Tyson come for you, you better head in the other direction in a hurry. Right hand glances off the chin, but it rocked Kennedy. The left hook does it the same.
Kennedy's hands are really very low, and Tyson, boy, you have to like how poised he is right here. He is picking his shots well. He is hurting.
This one could be over. It is. Joe Cortez stops it.
Perfect timing by Joe Cortez. That was right when he saw that last right hand land. He could just feel the fact that Kennedy would be sagging to the canvas. Boy, Mike Tyson is powerful, huh?
Oh, wow. Mike Tyson, he barely built up a sweat. But you know he was warm and ready. He came out fired up. It is 7-0 with 7 knockouts. Lorenzo Kennedy's first loss, he looks like he's okay, being checked out by the doctors. As Al said, he was sagging against the ropes. He was in serious trouble, taking the punishment, and Joe Cortez quickly stepping in and stopping the fight, knowing there's no sense in giving him a standing 8 count or anything like that. This one was over.
Let's take a peek at the first knockdown. This was, as you said, Sam, the first good left hook that Tyson landed. He dips under, throws this left hook. That's a nice move.
Is that a Joe Frazier left hook?
It really is. And you know what was so nice about that was the way, the old dipsy doodle. He went under and then came with a really good left hook. Now here's where he had Kennedy against the ropes. Mike Tyson is a terrific finisher. Keeps his hands moving. Those are good compact punches. Now, and Joe Cortez steps in, and you have to like even what you saw in this short performance by Mike Tyson.
His 4th first-round knockout out of 7. Mike Tyson has won again. Here's the official time from Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Joe Cortez stops this bout at 1 minute and 5 seconds of the first round. For the winner, 7 in a row, 7 by KO, Mike Tyson.
10 rounds of boxing in the heavyweight division. Introducing to you in the red corner, from Charlotte, North Carolina, wearing blue trunks with gold trim, weighing in at 206 3/4 pounds, with a professional record of 12 wins, 4 losses. 8 of those wins by knockout, Mark Young. And in the blue corner, from Catskill, New York, wearing black trunks, weighing in at 219 pounds, with a professional record of 14 wins, no losses, all wins by knockout, Mike Tyson. Your referee is Sid Rubenstein. 10 rounds heavyweight.
The fighters getting their instructions. There again you see the records. Mike Tyson from nearby Catskill, undefeated. This is a scheduled 10-rounder, Ray Mancini, and for Mike Tyson, he's never seen anything near the 10th round.
I'll tell you, Mike Tyson has come to fight tonight. That's the first time I've seen a main event fighter come in the ring with no robe on. He says, I'm ready to go. Let's just do it.
Well, he has said go to his opponents early in all of his 14 fights.
Right.
If you blink in the first round, you'll probably miss a Mike Tyson fight.
He's a young, strong guy. He jumps right on his opponents. And I think this might be another early stoppage because this guy's been a little wild. He's going to get caught with something.
Mark Young out of Charlotte, North Carolina, comes out swinging.
That jab pushed him back. Well, this guy is like a ball of granite.
Awesome is an overused word in the 1980s, but Mike Tyson is absolutely awesome. Just sit back and watch, but don't blink because you could miss it. A low right from Young. And down goes Mark Young. A breeze.
That's it.
A little phantom. He's gone. It's over. First round. Mike Tyson of Catskill, New York.
I'd like to see that one myself.
Is 15-0. I would like to see it also.
It was on the opposite side of the ring. And
well, we said if you blink, you could miss it. Young had taken a punch from Tyson, and then all of a sudden, Young went flying to the canvas. And a happy Mike Tyson, the heavyweight, highly publicized, highly thought of, now 15-0, and a typical finish early.
You know, Ken, the fans here can't be disappointed. They've had a good night of boxing. I've always said if you get a main event, you got to support it with a good semifinal. They saw a great fight against Rosario Montoya. Mike Tyson comes out, wins one round. They're very happy because the homeboy won, and they've had, you know, they've been treated to a good night of boxing.
How good is Mike Tyson?
Like I said, he's as good as the people he's fighting, and as good as he wants to be. He has all it takes. And what I always say, what it takes is what you have on the inside. He has all the qualities, all the attributes to make it to the top. But I think they got to start giving him something to fight. I mean, he's had several one-round opponents. Sure, he is strong. He's jumping on guys, catching them early. But he's got, you know, he's not fighting all world beaters.
Here it is. Tyson in the darker trunks lands a left. Watch closely now.
You can see he's hurting them with them jolting uppercuts. But I just still don't know what hit him.
There will be a Tyson shot that hits him, and they separate. The knockout coming in round one of this heavyweight fight. There it was. The winner is Mike Tyson. The local favorite gives a show, and let's go back to the ring.
50 seconds of the first round, Mike Tyson.
10 rounds in the blue corner from Raceland, Kentucky, wearing black and green trunks, weighing 250 pounds, with a record of 13-6, 11 by KOs, Slammin' Sammy Schaff. And in the red corner, from Catskill, New York, wearing black trunks, weighing 215, with a record of 13-0, 13 by knockout, Mike Tyson, 10 rounds.
Kevin Rooney in his corner. Joins Mike Tyson in the center of the ring. Fred Yusi with the instructions. In the unlikelihood that this goes the distance, the judges will score. 3 judges at ringside score the fight.
Judges are Billy Graham, Bernie Friedkin, and Eva Shane.
Now look at the height difference, at least 6 inches. What does Tyson have to do to get inside?
Do you know what that means to Tyson? That means that he has in front of him a very large target.
Okay. Scheduled for 10, but don't go away. Tyson already coming in, got in a short left hook. There's the big left hook, and that rocked Sammy's gas early.
It sure did. He's a right hand. He's going to work.
Wobbly.
He's taking his time. He's pinpointing his punches. He's not over anxious. That's the first punch he's missed so far.
Look at the legs. Look at where the power comes from when he bends and gets his body into those punches.
You got to watch this one real close.
Blood coming from the nose of Sammy Scaff already. A big left hook got in there. He might have broken his nose already.
That's right. It looks bad.
Scaff is on the run. Blood just pouring down from the nose of Sammy Scaff.
Tyson does not throw wild punches, Sam. That's
big left hook. And there is Scaff down.
3, 4.
The count is 5.
For the rest of the
6. The count is 7. This one's over. 9. This one is over.
It's all over. He tried to make it. Sammy Scaff tried to get up. His nose is cut. Look at the side of his nose there.
He's breathing and nose is just pouring out. I got to believe he broke his nose with one of those left hooks.
I think there might even be a tear on the side of that nose.
Wow. Well, he gave everybody what they expected.
He didn't keep them long, I'll tell you that, Sam. Everybody who came early, our first fight of the evening is the Tyson fight, and he didn't keep them very long.
Here's Jose Torres, the New York State Boxing Commission chairman, and another Customato protege, and certainly there's got to be some strong feeling inside from Jose Torres about the performance of Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson, very calm and showing some concern, going over to the corner of Sammy Scaff to make sure he's okay and asking the doctor if he's okay. But watch the power, watch the left hook rock Sammy Scaff here. Bingo. And what you said is right. Those punches are short and powerful.
Right. He went down in sections. He tried to get up. He struggled trying to get up, but there was really no need for it. He couldn't continue. He was completely defenseless. And I called him a thunderous puncher before, and that's a pretty good word,
I think so. That applies perfectly. Mike Tyson is getting to that point where he will have to be tested by a better quality opponent. Sammy Scaff, as we mentioned, a journeyman heavyweight who has been knocked out now 7 times, has 13 wins. This man, for fighting professionally only 9 months, John, he shows a lot of good technical skills.
Poise. He's got poise, Sam. It seems as though it comes natural to him. He's got great poise for a young man who has only had this as his 14th fight. Very few rounds, actually, but he's got a lot of poise, a lot of professionalism in him.
He acknowledges the cheers of the crowd. Let's get the official time from Marvin Goldberg.
The time, 1 minute and 19 seconds of the first round. Winner by TKO, Mike Tyson.
Boxing fans, let's hide the children. We're moving into the heavyweight division. This bout scheduled for 8 rounds or less. Introducing first, to my left, in the blue corner. He weighed in this morning at 212 pounds. He has a professional record of 12 wins, 2 losses, 8 of those wins coming by knockout. He's from Fort Worth, Texas, and now making his home in Tyler, Texas. How about a round of applause for Fast Eddie Richardson? And his opponent to my right in the red corner weighed in this morning at 219 fit, fighting, and ready pounds. He's wearing the blue trunks with the red and white trim. He has a professional record of 10 straight unbeaten wins, and all of those 10 wins coming by knockout. He was handled by the late Customato, and now with Jimmy Jacobs. Ladies and gentlemen, from the Big Apple of New York City, Mike Tyson. Your referee, Barry Yates.
Well, as we've told you, Tyson has had 10 fights, but very few of them go past the first round, Mickey Herskowitz.
Well, you're looking at a very interesting and complicated matchup. Eddie Richardson is 6'6" against Mike Tyson, who is described as 5'11", looks closer to 5'10" because of the squarishness of his build. Going to be a really fascinating contest to see how Richardson attempts to use that advantage in height and reach.
Customato, of course, right hand by Tyson. Oh, my. First punch he threw.
What took him so long?
Eddie Richardson, looking at the referee, is in much disbelief as we are.
Eddie Richardson said he was going to go after him and test it, and he may have made a very serious error in strategy right there.
Tyson is a little icebox rather than a refrigerator, yeah. I'll tell you what.
Well, he has a 19 3/4-inch neck, which is approximately the size of actress Shelley Duvall's waist.
And you certainly see the punching power in Tyson.
One of the real rising stars in the boxing galaxy today, Mike Tyson, a fellow for whom everybody predicts a great future. If they can find some fights for him.
That left hand almost drove Richardson right through the canvas.
He not only knocked him down, but he absolutely carried him through the air.
And it's over.
I see right now a major flaw and problem in Mike Tyson's career, and that's going to be to have a fight that lasts long enough to get some good footage on him.
I'm telling you what, it's hard to do. Mike Tyson, without a doubt, one of the bright stars in the heavyweight picture, now goes to 11-0 with 11 knockouts. And we're going to be talking to him in just a moment, so hold.
With Steve Farhood, and I got to tell you, I just spent an entire day with heavyweight champ Larry Holmes about a week ago, and Mike Tyson sounds just like him. But let's go up to Stefan Harari for the official announcement of this bout.
In the heavyweight division. Our referee for this fight is Frank Cappuccino. First in the blue corner, wearing the black trunks with the red trim, weighing in at 196 pounds. His record is 12 wins, 5 losses. 8 of those wins by knockout. From Florida, please welcome Michael Jack Johnson. And his opponent in the red corner, wearing the white trunks with the green trim. Undefeated with 7 wins, all of them by knockout. Hails from the Catskills in New York. Please welcome, weighing 219.5 pounds, Mike Tyson.
Well, I was about to say, when Stefan Harari made the announcement, Mike Tyson really vocally sounds just like Larry Holmes. I mean, I thought I was back in Easton, Pennsylvania talking to the champ.
He does sound like him.
Unbelievable.
He's meaner, though.
Is he meaner?
Look at the size of him. He looks like the Incredible Hulk. He really does.
In that case, I'm glad I'm not Michael Jack Johnson.
Yeah,
Round number 1, scheduled 6, but hold on to your hats. Nobody thinks it's going to go that far. Oh, there he goes. He's just going to pull his way in. Those rights to the body. Left jab, right to the heart.
Quickly want to point out, first fight for Michael Jack Johnson in 2 years.
I'm glad you pointed it out because down he goes. The left hook just buried him, dug him in the ribs.
I think it was a
Michael
left and a right.
Johnson went goodbye. That left hook just caught him and sent him right to the canvas.
23-pound weight advantage,
my goodness.
and he put it
The
all
right,
there.
The right to the head, and it's all over. Goodbye.
I hope he's not hurt because that was a brutal, wide-open punch.
He did not have his guard up, and Mike Tyson just Michael Jack Johnson, a big smile, but he didn't even break a sweat.
He may have to run around on the boardwalk a little bit to get his night's work in.
Just to kind of wind down. You know, these fighters get geared up for these fights, and what's he going to do after a couple of seconds work?
He may take on the house. It was a right hand. It was a right hand right there. No, we didn't see it yet. I'm sorry. Here it comes.
There's the left hook.
There's the hook to the body.
And
he missed the right. Yeah.
It was just the left hook, and he has so much power in that left. I mean, that's the kind that breaks ribs, folks.
That was a left hook to the liver.
Oh, my goodness. And look at that, man. That's Michael Jack Johnson flat on the canvas. The ring doctor kneeling over him as Mike Tyson has the gloves cut off. I don't even know why he bothered putting them on. Okay, Mike Tyson with the gloves off. Michael Jack Johnson got up off the canvas.
One right hand. He didn't wait for an invitation. Here it comes. Whoa.
I'll tell you, Michael Jack Johnson earned his money the hard way tonight.
Well, there's not much to say about that knockout except to watch it.
I think, as a matter of fact, that was such a fantastic...
And now, ladies and gentlemen, man your battle stations. This bout is in the heavyweight division, scheduled for 6 rounds. The referee for this contest is Joe O'Neill. And now introducing first in the red corner. He's wearing the white trunks with green trim and weighs 217 pounds even. From Catskill, New York, he is undefeated in 3 professional bouts, all victories, all knockouts. Ladies and gentlemen, a big hand for Mike Tyson. And his opponent in the blue corner. He's wearing the black trunks with white stripe and weighs 184 1/4 pounds from Columbus, Ohio. He's also undefeated 7 in a row, 5 by knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, Rick the Ram Spain.
Gentlemen, you're fighting in the state of New Jersey. There's a 3 knockdown rule of my discretion. There's a mandatory 8 count. There's a standing 8 count. When I tell you to break, I want you to protect yourself and step back at all times. The bell only saves you in the last round. Any questions?
Yes, sir.
Shake hands, come out boxing. Good luck, gentlemen.
Mike Tyson's 4th fight. First fight in front of a big-time audience, though. This time not in Albany, but in the Atlantic City Resorts International. This man, Ricardo Spain, he's having only his 2nd pro fight. 1 fight, 1 win. Mike Tyson, 3 fights, 3 wins, 2 inside a round. And the last one against Don Halpin went all of 4 rounds. And Tyson, we've already seen in his brief pro career, hits like a steam hammer. As Ricardo Spain has already found out, boy, that was quick. Boy, that was fast. Boy, that was hard. And the ref takes a very clean look at the eyes. The eyes are the giveaway. Oh, the legs have gone. This is all over. Yes, it is. I don't believe it. That's well inside a minute. Spain can't believe it. Tyson absolutely destroyed him there. Well, we wondered, didn't we, when we saw the Halpin fight, can it be just a month ago in May in Albany? Tyson was relaxed, subdued almost. Took his time, 4 rounds. This time, wow, brother. the little combination there, that was the first knockdown. The right hand was the one that finished it. And this young man is signifying evil intent in the heavyweight division, and in front of this audience in Atlantic City, this, I promise you, is going to make one or two really stand and take notice. The left hook, the power was astonishing. The legs just went every which way. 4 fights, 4 wins.
First, in the blue corner, wearing the white trunks with the blue trim. He tipped in at 224 1/4 pounds. This gentleman hails from the boxing capital of the world of Atlantic City, New Jersey. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome aboard Big Bob Coley. And his opponent in the red corner, wearing the blue trunks with the white and red trim. He weighed in at an even 217 pounds. This young man hails from Catskill, New York. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Mike Tyson.
Got your instructions in the dressing room. I want you to obey my rules at all, my commands at all times. That understood? Shake hands, give me a clean fight.
Referee Ted Pick sending both boys back to their corners. A good clean fight. That is what we hope to see. Mike Tyson, undefeated in his 10th professional fight against Robert Coley, coming off a win in his last fight. Already we can see Tyson giving away height this time. We've seen him give away weight before. This time he gives away height. He's giving away weight as well, about 7 pounds to Coley. Tyson 5'10". Coley, oh, a good 6'3". Left hook, good night. What a great shot. There's a mandatory 8. They keep wheeling him out. He keeps knocking him over. Well, that has got to be one of the quickest. Tyson, a little, well, almost apologetic tap on Coley's chest. Thank you very much. That's all she wrote. And this man, well, okay, look at the stats. 10 fights, 10 wins, 7 inside the first round. And this is how he did it. Measured him up. Missed with that, not with that. And really, Coley was out, as the old story goes, before he hits the canvas. Tyson impassive. Kevin Rooney cutting the gloves off. Is it getting a bit too easy for Mike Tyson? You know, I've said this before, but, well, here's another person who could stretch Mike Tyson. David Jaco, the white fighter in the dark blue trunks, mixed it with the best. Tony Tucker, Pierre Kutzer. He's knocked out Razor Ruddock. Can't fault this quality of opponent for Mike Tyson. This guy, 19 wins, 15 inside the distance. He can punch, he's durable, he's got height, he's got reach. What can Tyson do? He can attack him, that's what he can. He is no respecter of anything, Mike Tyson. He's young, he believes implicitly in himself, and Jaco will, I promise you, have never faced a human whirlwind like he's having to face in Albany tonight. And he's clipped with the right hand. Lucky he was going back. Wasn't then. Left hand. How many times have we seen that? How many times have I said, Tyson, left hook, down? Well, round 1. This is Tyson's 16th fight of the previous 15. 11 inside a round. And this is going to be another one. And this is against a good opponent. No disrespect to David Jaco. That's it. That's all she wrote. No, the referee's letting them go on. I thought he'd stopped it. Tyson thought he'd won. But the end surely can't be far away. The right hook almost dislodges Jaco's head from his shoulders. They should stop this. He's really had enough. Well, they're letting it go on. Jayco's shipping a lot of punishment now. There is no way he is going to win this contest. It's the 11th of January, and if they fought until next New Year, he wouldn't win this fight. It's not if, it's when Mike Tyson wins, and when could be literally any second. He's taken 2 counts. 3, it's all over. He could have stopped that before. Well, the 3 knockdown rule applies. All academic. Tyson wins fight number 16.
I didn't challenge me with their somewhat primitive skills. They're just as good as dead.
Fight number 11 for Mike Tyson, Sterling Benjamin. The opponent, Tyson, in the dark blue trunks with the white trim. Sterling Benjamin in the red. Last fight, Atlantic City, bit of a come down now. We're in Latham, New York State. We're in round 1, Tyson's 11th fight. 10 wins, 7 inside round 1. Did I say 7? Make that 8, perhaps, in fight number 11. The count is 5. And Sterling Benjamin just beats the count. On they go. Is he going to make the bell? Somehow, you know, I just kind of doubt it. There's only so much punishment anybody can take. That is the limit of Sterling Benjamin's endurance. The referee was just about to step in anyway.
I was a little leery. I knew I was in there with a good fighter that went the distance with some good fighters, and I was planning on just putting the pressure on him from the beginning to the end. I planned on coming out with a jab because I watched him in the DeWitt fight, and he was countering with the right hand good. And coming in the first round, I got grazed with a right hand, and from then on, I know to slip my head and just keep coming forward.
As for Benjamin, well, he was thoroughly impressed.
He have a sledgehammer, man. You know, when I go down there, I feel it. He ready hit hard. It's the hardest I ever been hit.
It is the hardest here.
The hardest of my whole career, man.
They keep lining him up, and Kid Catskill keeps knocking him down, and there'll be no let-up for Mike Tyson either.
He goes to Houston on the 13th. He's going to fight some Texas champ that I think the guy's Richardson is his name. I don't know anything about him. They're supposed to have a film. But again, as long as Mike can hit them, if he hits them clean, they're going to go.
So Mike Tyson continues to be a very busy man, but it's getting harder and harder now to find anybody who wants anything to do with him. I mean, no fighter wants to get run over by a truck.
Debut of Mike Tyson in the white trunks against Hector Mercedes. We're in the Plaza Convention Center, Albany, and this is not going to take too long. We're in round one. Mercedes already in trouble. He is going down, is he? These big swinging hooks to the body from Tyson. And if that is it in round one, that is a pretty impressive professional debut from the man who so nearly went to the Olympics in Los Angeles last year. He didn't. He's decided to turn pro instead, and that's not a bad start, is it?